I'm proud to be the 30th governor of the state of Nevada. Governor Nye was the territorial governor. He was appointed by the Lincoln administration. We became a state in 1864. I'm excited because we'll be celebrating our Sesquicentennial next year, 150 years of statehood, and we can talk a lot about that. Probably one of the biggest current events right now in terms of both ends of the state is we have two of the largest wildfires in the country. The federal government has rated those as the 1 and 2 priorities in the United States. I visited one which was in southern Nevada, which is the Carpenter fire that approximately 20,000 acres have burned. I just visited one that is south of here by a few miles. That's the Bison Fire. And that also is 20,000 acres and involves almost 1,000 firefighters. Nevada has been doing extremely well, but we need to do better. We are the fastest improving state with regard to unemployment. When I stepped into office a couple of years ago, our unemployment rate was above 14%, and that was unacceptable, and we need to get Nevada working again. It is now 9.5%, which is a great improvement, but it still leads the country in unemployment. So for me, my two greatest priorities are getting Nevadans back to work and providing a quality education. And everyone gasps when they hear this statistic, but Nevada is 86% federal land. I just recently came from a Western governor's meeting, and some of the other governors were lamenting how large of a percentage of their states was federal land, and none of them knew that Nevada was 86%. I will say that we work very cooperatively with the BLM, with the Department of Interior, with all the relevant federal officials, but it's always a balance. Certainly we want more control, we being the state of Nevada, of the lands within our boundaries.
What has been the impact of that?
Well, we have to work with them, for example, with these fires. I mean, most of these fires are on federal land, so the BLM brings the firefighters in, and we have to cooperate with the local authorities. Mining, and you talk about the origins of the state of Nevada, certainly mining is probably where you would start the Comstock lode in Virginia City. But we have mines throughout the state of Nevada. We have to work very closely with the federal authorities, work with them in terms of permitting and ensuring that's done in an expedited basis so that we can get people to work. But all in all, we have a good relationship. I mean, obviously we're always going to have our differences. Given that we're 86% federal land, there's not as much opportunity with regard to property taxes in the state of Nevada. The federal government does pay what are called payment in lieu of taxes to provide some recompense to the local governments as well as the state, but it's not nearly enough. And as I said, so that makes us different than the other states, particularly the eastern states. And we have this conversation all the time. Back in Washington, there needs to be more of an appreciation for Nevada, given that only 14% of our land is private. Gambling was approved by Governor Balzar in the state of Nevada. And just to step back for a moment, we signed a bill in Nevada, in the legislature, that allowed for the legalization of internet poker for the first time in the history of this country. And we signed it right upstairs in the Capitol here, in the same place where Governor Balzar signed the bill that approved gaming in this state back in the 20s. And that was a monumental decision for us. Obviously, the evolution of gaming is one in Nevada that has been unlike any place else on the planet. Anybody that has come to Las Vegas has had an incredible experience. An interesting statistic is there really has been an evolution with regard to the gaming industry. Most of the money now is made from the hotel and from the restaurants and from shopping and the shows. So more of the income comes from that than the gaming itself, given the spread of gaming throughout the country. I mean, I don't know how many states it is, but it's 40 plus, where you can walk into a casino either that is state sponsored or tribal sponsored. It's really not that unique to be able to go in and play a table game or pull on a slot machine. So that's the beauty of Las Vegas, is that it has evolved, and it has really done a great job of meeting the expectation of the visitors. Anybody who applies for a gaming license in the state of Nevada has to undergo a very detailed investigation. All their finances, their backgrounds are reviewed. It's quite a process, and in fact, it's so rigorous that many states that say that if you've got a Nevada gaming license, then essentially you're good enough for us. So we're very strict in terms of who gets a gaming license in the state. We monitor the operations of each of the gaming companies and what they're doing and how they're treating their patrons.
Nevada is the only state in the U.S. to have legalized prostitution. And what's the history behind that as a law here?
Well, it's a local option, and it's not legal throughout the state of Nevada. In Washoe County and Clark County, Washoe County being Reno, Clark County being Las Vegas, it is illegal to have prostitution there. It is an option for those counties, the other 15 counties, to determine whether or not they want it there.
And has there been an impact on the state, or how has that had an impact?
Well, I don't know if I would say it has an impact. Again, it's a local option, and the local governments, be it a county commission, makes that decision for themselves. I mean, it's obviously very strictly regulated. Nevada became a state in 1864 during Abraham Lincoln's administration. We have a long, rich history. And beginning October 31 of 2013, we're going to have 150 events throughout the state. It's a monumental time for Nevadans, and as I said, we're improving. Things are getting better, and I think Nevadans are very excited about what's to come. I just announced last week that during the recession, as I said, it was tough, and we had to limit the hours of our museums. We've now opened our museums 7 days a week and providing more access for our residents, for our kids, and for the visitors that come to our state. I have in my lap the Sesquicentennial plate, and Nevadans are battle-born, as I mentioned before. Nevadans are very resilient, and we are the silver state given our history in mining, but this is a way for Nevadans to show their pride for the state of Nevada. It'll all come to a crescendo on October 31, which is our day of statehood in 2014. Here in Carson City, we'll have the Nevada Day Parade. That's another big tradition where 40,000 Nevadans come and watch the parade, but it's going to be a great time for all of us.